Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu then visited the holy place named Vijendra Mokshan, where he went to a temple of Lord Vishnu. He then came to Panagadi, the holy place, where he saw the deities of Lord Ramachandra and Sita. Later, the Lord went to Champapura, where he saw the deities of Lord Ramachandra and Lakshman. He then went to Sri Vaikuntha and saw the temple of the Lord Vishnu. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu then went to Malaya Parvata and offered prayer to Agstaya. He visited Kanya Gaurahari, Cape Comorin. After visiting Kanyakumari, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came to Amritalaya, where he saw the deities of Ramachandra. After that, he went to a place known as and the water of and the desire for water will come.
Rama Rama Hari Hari. Amen. We're coming over to Coventry tomorrow. Me and Yamuna for some Harinam. We're going to bring the big boy. We're going to chant. Be good.
It's a bit confusing. Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. My good wife is reading to Chaitamrita Ajita, chapter 9, verse 113. This is her voice.
The temple of Lord Vishnu, there was where he went to temple. When he went to a temple of Lord Vishnu, he then came on the garden where these are deities of the Rama. I'm actually going to have to stop here. I'm just really, really tired. I'm going to call myself. Karuna, you there, boy?
What? What'd she say? Hare Krishna. What did you say?
Tom.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. I think my good wife is going to go off now. She's a bit tired. So let me do a testimony. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. A testimony. Aye. Who am I? Why am I here? And what's happened and in my life? So, all glories to Srila Gaurahari Das. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. All glories to the Guru Parampara. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare. I'd like to give a testimony about what happened to me when I came into the association of Srila Gaurahari Das. Hare Krishna, Govinda Sundara. 10 years ago, I came across Krishna consciousness because of karma. Because there is no because, I did. The reasons why or wherefore are beyond my conception, and I shall not go into them in this time because, my God, I cannot even conceive of it. I left computer games industry. I traveled around Thailand as an English teacher, and I became disillusioned with more and more of the world, and I started to do research into conspiracy theories, 9/11, fiat currency, demons, shapeshifters, aliens, and what like that stuff. And I came across teachings of Srila Prabhupada, an ancient teacher of the Vedic way, ancient civilization, which if we research anywhere in depth, we kind of find a lot of these temples pinpointed around the world. Hare Krishna, Ivo, thank you for listening. I came across Srila Prabhupada's teachings, and I was hungry for any kind of an ontology outside the ontology that I was given by Western philosophy, which was we all come from monkeys, there's a God in the sky, and we don't know much about him except that he appeared as a burning bush, and he sacrificed his only son, Jesus Christ, to save our souls, and we should go to the church and confess our sins to a priest, who then we find out molests little children. And the Pope knows about this, but he doesn't really remove the priest from service. He hi Krishna Meena, I thought you were giving class. Anyway, you're here now. Please settle down and watch. I shouldn't be watching people. Actually, I'm gonna stop with this. I don't want to be. I'm giving a testimony. It's gonna be very long. So I came across Prabhupada's teachings, but then to my shock and horror, found out that he was no longer on the planet, which was a bit of a bummer, but his books were. And then just to, he was there in front of me on YouTube it was, and my mind got attracted to this man in white. White hair, black, dark sunglasses, white beard, white t-shirt, white background. And it said the Matrix Singularity 2012, the Mayan calendar. And I just went, well, I was still in that search mode. I was still kind of like island hopping from philosophy to philosophy. And I came across this man who it was a video about 2012, as I said. And he was looking cool, all in white, very classy video. I thought it was actually the architect from The Matrix. And I watched, and it was talking about how the system is designed to control us, and how everything is poisoned around us, and then we cut to nature scenes. Have we forgotten something about nature? Have we forgotten about where we come from? Have we forgotten about who we are? Have we forgotten about the most important things in life, which aren't just about making money and about, getting a good job and spending most of your life suffering because the job you have sucks, and that you bring your kids up in a world which is getting more polluted and more deteriorating. And it was shown the two different worlds, the materialistic, demoniac civilization that we find ourselves in, juxtaposing to the countryside bliss, simple living, high thinking, which attracted me because I knew there was a relationship between us and nature. Growing up in the countryside, you do know there's a relationship between. There's no atheistic farmers. If you meet a farmer, they know there's a God, there's a higher power. The seasons and nature and seeds and life and how life survives. And I because I was a country boy, I knew there was life, there was a God, there was a higher power. But I couldn't really access him through the Bible. And my parents, they never really gave me much. My mother was a Protestant, my father was a Catholic, and they saw what religion had done to their country and their families, tore it apart with war and terrorism and things like that. They didn't want to get me to get involved in religion or anything. They thought it was just a power controlling. But they threw the baby out with the bathwater. And so there was no God as such in our family home. So I started watching more of these videos from this man who called himself Babaji, and I watched and I listened, and it was it rung true. It was like, yes, there is life after death. Yes, this life is preparation for the next life. Yes, there is a God. Yes, our intrinsic design is to serve each other and the higher power, and that's why the world has gone so astray, because we've drifted away from the central point, and this Bhakti Yoga was a way to get us back into it. So I was very, very impressed with the teachings. I was very amazed by the philosophy, and about what sold me was the day I sat down with a pair of beads. Pair of beads? Only one beads. With a set of beads. And I chanted Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Yeah. It was Om Namo Bhagavate. That was the first mantra that I learned. And I had no idea what the words were, but I was very sure to pronounce it right. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Okay, I got it down. It's approaching God through Vasudev, his father. So it's approaching God in the kingly mood of awe and reverence. Hare Krishna, Ganesh. And so I sat down. I went into Little India in Bangkok, Thailand, where I was. And I was going through Little India, looking for a set of beads and an image that I could focus my consciousness on. So I went into a bead shop, and the first set of beads I saw were Rudraksha beads. I'm sure you know what Rudraksha beads look like. Shiva tears. And they were hanging on the door. And I went into the shop and said, I want to get some beads from you. And he goes, oh yes, I have the nice beads here. He took down a set of Tulsi. Now they were clean Tulsi, they were nice and white Tulsi. And I said, how much are they? And he said, 50 baht. Baht, I think, is Thai currency, if I remember correctly. 50 baht, yes. And I said, oh, that's very expensive. Of course it wasn't. And I said, how much are those ones on the door, which were Rudraksha beads? And he says, 10 baht. I said, I'll get them. And he started telling me about, well, what are you going to do? Are you chant? I said, yeah, I'm going to start chanting. And he goes, oh, very good. Who's your guru? And I said, Babaji. I mean, well, guru, I didn't even consider the name. I was like, Babaji is my guru, I think. And he goes, oh, you should, my guru is Swami. I was like, oh, that's very good. And he had this whole trip trying to tell me how wonderful his guru was. And I was kind of like, yeah, well, listen, dude, I'm just going to chant this mantra. What's mantra? And I said, Om Namo Bhagavate. He goes, oh, Om Namo Bhagavate. Ah, good mantra. You should chant my mantra, Om Shivaya Namaha, or whatever he was chanting. I don't remember. It was all kind of a blur, all very new smells, new faces. It was like, whoa. So I got my beads, Rudraksha beads, not knowing what they were, but I had to make sure there was 108, and there were. And then I went to find a picture of God. So walking through the marketplace, smells and spices and colours, and I came across a little shop that had little pictures with that shiny gold inlay with a little black stand. So the first picture I saw was Krishna and the cow and the flute and flowers. I was like, oh, that's nice. So I put it to the side. That's nice. I went through the rest of them, and there was all Shivas and Durgas and Ganeshas, and I didn't think any Krishna and Radharani. Yeah, I might have been a few of them. I don't know. I can't remember. But the little Krishna holding the flute and the cow under his arm, I kind of got with that, because there's nature and cows. Hare Krishna. Black and white bird just flew into the window, like a little flying cow, magpie. And thanks for coming. And yeah, I was attracted to that. Flowers, cows, flute, music, little blue boy. Yeah, seems I can relate to him. I can contact. Okay. So I went back home to my apartment, sat down, and Hare Krishna Nandini Dinat. No. Hare Krishna. So I sat down with a calculator to count 106 rounds, because for some reason, 108, 106, Hare Krishna. For some reason, 108 was very important. I wasn't sure I would chant 108 because that seemed like a very kind of mystical number. 108, 819, 9 3 3s. Ooh, okay, cool. I wasn't very much into mathematics, but somehow or other it resonated. And I had the mantra Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. And I had a picture of little Krishna, the cow, with the flute and the flowers, and a small little candle. And I sat down with the calculator and I kind of worked out every time I finish around. I don't know. Actually, no, I mustn't have had the beads at that time. Now to come to think of it, I didn't have the beads, so that first part of the story was a lie. The picture I had, the candle I had, the calculator I had, and the mantra. It's a good story anyway. It happened, but not in that context, in that chronological order. So, why am I making such a long story? I'm trying to give a testimony to Srila Gaurahari Das. I'm going on deeper and deeper. Anyway, it is what it is. So, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Okay. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate. Bhagavate. I was remembering. Must aspirate the BH. Bhagavate. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So that was very important for me to remember. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Whew. So I did that. And I don't know, time. I don't know how long it took. But once I got into the chanting, I had a feeling, an energy, a force, a sense of time stopped. And the reason I know that time stopped, and the reason I know that it was time, I was explaining it to Yamuna when she sort of asked me, what was it? It's a feeling of all vibrations became still. And the more I think about it, the more I kind of understand that. So I tapped into a place where there was no time. And then scale changed also. Scale. And I felt enormous, universal in size, and at the same time I felt molecular in size. So scale changed and times, there was no more time. And for a moment I hung in that area of very comfortable, blissful state of no self. You know, that kind of like held and suspended animation kind of thing. Just wow. And then words, you could say, Hare Krishna, Russian named person. Nice Harinam chatter. Hare Krishna. Stop coming into, oh, they're all coming in to talk to me. Hare Krishna, everybody. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. So this, and then this voice, feeling spoke to me and asked me how I was. A sense of concern, a sense of, yeah, caring, compassionate feeling said, are you okay? And then there was a me. So there was a person asking how I was. Definitely persons ask how you were. The person, the energy force, the person, I didn't see them, but there was a strong feeling of compassion and inquiry into my well-being. So then there was a me, and I really didn't know how I was. I was more shocked that this process worked. Because I was open-hearted. I was really at the end of it. I was, I started to drink, a couple of cans a day, not to get drunk, but just to drink. I started smoking. I never smoked. I was just kind of becoming reckless, but not, just like, what's the point? If the whole world is so stacked against me, why should I really give a damn? So if there was a God, I was basically going, right, I'm going to pick up these beads and chant Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, and it's ancient and it's really old, and I reckon God's really old too. So if this don't work, I'm not in the kind of mood to try and find out any more reasons for the existence of you, God. And if this don't work with an open heart, which I feel I really have, because I was a goody-goody two-shoes most of my life, really played by the rule book, went to school, did my homework, really good little student. And when I came to the realization that everything that I thought I knew was basically a lie, I felt I was duped. And if there was no answer, then I was just probably going to go down the road of destruction, I think, was where I was going. And lo and behold, I accessed the truth by chanting a mantra. And that mantra allowed me to perceive God. And God asked me how I was, and I had nothing to say to God. It was more like shock and horror, like, oh, this is real? Oh. And how am I? Where do you go? So I hung there, and I don't know how long I hung for. But then there was the candle. And the candle was shining a light on the gold embossed parts of the image of Krishna. And we were told by this guru nothing about Hare Krishna. I'd never heard of Hare Krishna I never heard of Hare Krishna. I think I was once approached by Hare Krishna as a kid, but I never clocked that it was a Hare Krishna. I may have sang Hare Krishna with my mum to George Harrison, but it never clicked. So this blue boy in front of me with the flute and the cow, I don't even know if I knew he had a name. They might have said Krishna. This is interesting. I've never gone here before in my head before. This is just going to be a testimony about Srila Gaurahari Das, who is an ecstatic devotee of Krishna, experiencing ecstasy, which is promised in the Shastras that we read from the Vedas, which I was tapping into by chanting Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Now, none of this then. I mean, you think of worshipping God as awe and reverence, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, and was my first stepping stone into God consciousness. So this little blue boy, the flute, I mean, maybe when I bought it, the person said, you can buy Krishna, Bala Gopala, Bala Gopal, Bala Govind, Govind, this is an Indian person in Thailand. Govinda, Govinda, you like Govinda? I don't know. It's like, I don't know, don't ask me any hard questions. It's just, I ain't going to chant that Durga lady with the blood coming out of her mouth, or that guy covered in skulls on the mountain with the dead tiger under his feet. And those two people, Hare Krishna, or whatever they're called, Radha Krishna, they're having a good time over there. They're hanging out with each other. I don't want it to interrupt their party, But this kid with the flute, with the cow, he seems like, yeah, I can hang with him. Yeah, I mean, he looks like he's open for, like, I'm a country boy. He seems like a country boy who got a cow. I can hang out with him. So I really had no names. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. There was Vasudev. Okay, I don't really know who you are, dude, but apparently you are the father of Krishna. Vasudev. Yeah, you carried Krishna all the way over to Vrindavan. Cool. I didn't know that at the time. But when God asked me if I was okay, I really didn't know what I was getting myself into. I didn't even know at that stage what I was, because at that moment of chanting, I had lost the sense of the body, and the universe, the absolute truth, had just inquired into my well-being. I can't rightly tell you right now, but I do know that I am going to continue chanting your name, and I am attracted by this form of God. The little blue boy, flowers, peacock feather, cow, flute, flowers, nature. I like that. I can resonate with that. So kind of, I don't know, embarrassed or just feeling inadequate or feeling lost for words, I went back to the mantra. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. And there was no instantly. It wasn't like the lights went back on again and the energy kept going. I don't know what happened. I really don't know what happened. I was in the apartment. My wife wasn't with me. I was married then to a Thai woman. She was in the apartment next door playing with her family. They were gambling, playing poker and stuff, drinking whiskey and being Thai. And I don't know what happened. I think I made sure that I finished chanting, because to me it was like a magic spell, and you know, you start it, so you have to finish, and you have to do 108, because that's the required. You start at the Krishna, the head bead, and you work your way around, you come back. But I didn't know that, I don't think at the time, but I knew 108 had to be chanted in this mystical seance that I was doing. I was opening myself to the beyond. I was tapping into something very sacred, something very high, something very esoteric. And if I didn't finish the 108, I may not be allowed in again. I may not conjure the spell properly. I may cause offense to something. So the question was asked, how am I? There was a moments of unknowing, and I went back to Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. I didn't have the language of love. I didn't know what to say to God. And he knew. He just wanted to let me know that he was there. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama. Wow. Hare Krishna, Krishna. And that was it. That was it. There was no going back after that. Hey Freddy, Hare Krishna. Just this started off as a testimony to Srila Gaurahari Das. I was trying to do a filler, but the filler has just become epic, and I might have to go soon. Just realizations of going back to when I first tapped into chanting and how absolutely life-changing it was. My wife walked into the room the next morning at 6 o'clock. I don't think she had slept the whole day. And my first initial reaction, hey Ja, that's what we called each other, Ja. It was a sign of endearment in Thai. Hey, Ja! I sat up in the bed. You're home. But then everything fell away. Everything. It was like that scene in The Matrix when Neo realizes that the whole thing's a program. Hare Krishna, Kali Karna Das. Please accept my humble obeisances. All the Lord Srila Gaurahari Das. Hare Krishna. So my wife walked into the room, and for a split second I had forgotten my experience of chanting the mantra. I had forgotten everything. I woke up, hey, there's my wife, here I am in the room. And that moment of I've woken. This is never going to be the same again. That scene in The Matrix where he sees the program running up the walls. He sees the whole thing for what it really is. Not the walls of a house. Not the bed on the floor. Not even his hands. They weren't even his. So she walked in expecting to see her husband. But she didn't. And the person who walked in wasn't my wife. I wasn't Conor Ryan, born in Ireland, from the family of Pat and Mary. She wasn't Nutja Passing, born of these people. None of it was real, except that we were real. And I was pure consciousness. She was pure consciousness. I was apparently full of bliss, full of knowledge, and eternal. And similarly, she was. And there is no way I could access her portal through the same way as we used to. And I told her, I said, I can't. She said, what's going on? Well, what's wrong? Are you okay? And I pointed at a picture of Krishna with the cow and the flute. And I was like, I've changed. She says, what happened? And I said, I was chanting, and we can't, you and me, and this isn't real, and I was just, I was myself trying to understand what I'd just gone through a couple of hours before. Yeah, bro, yeah, you know yourself, as I can see from your picture. You've been there, you've tapped in. So trying to explain to my wife what I had just experienced, her not knowing, having any idea what I had just been doing. They were off playing card games, and I was off exploring consciousness and God. So we can safely say that for the next 4 months, it was quite a bumpy road. Hare Krishna Junorio. How do I even pronounce that? Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, I can pronounce. Hare Krishna. So there we have it, 4 months of me trying desperately, no, not trying desperately, I mean at that stage I was sold. I was sold. I shaved my head, I started wearing white clothes, I started listening to my guru, I'd never heard of the word before, of my spiritual master. I started listening to this man religiously, every day, 3 times a day. This man was broadcasting from a website called The Esoteric Teaching. He was teaching the philosophy of Bhagavad Gita as it is, Srila Prabhupada, reincarnation, yoga. That was it. Give up meat, no problem. Give up drink, thank you. Or give up smoking, not a problem. Thank God. I knew there was a reason that it didn't sit right in me. It didn't sit right in me to go to a bar. I'd drink, I'd get drunk, we'd dance, we'd party, we'd fall over. But my first tap into that world, I was going, why are we all doing this? Isn't there something better that we should be doing with our time than this? But of course we get caught up. But when Prabhupada said, when I heard the instructions, the 4 regulator principles, I was like, yes, a reason not to do these things, because they just screw us up. They just mess us up, and they distract us from the real important thing of life, which is to understand what we are, who we are, why we're here, where we go, what we're all doing here, what our relationship is together, and what's the purpose of life. And there was a purpose, and that was to glorify and to serve and worship God through mantra meditation, through bhakti yoga, through service, through serving each other, to help us grow in our relationship with God. God asked me if I was okay. I had nothing to say to him. I didn't know what to say to him. I had no relationship with the guy. I couldn't say, well, actually, could I have this? Because I didn't know what to ask for. I had just conjured a magic spell, and the genie popped out of the lamp, and I'm like, and I didn't know what to ask for. What are you going to ask for? He could have given me anything. I was just standing in front of this huge, anyway, you know yourself, it's huge. What am I going to say to God? What do I want? It's like, what do I want? I don't even know what I am, let alone what I want. It was more like, are you okay? I don't know. Wow. I've just stepped away from everything I knew and believed in to then you're asking me if I'm okay. So for the next 7 years, ask for more cows. Listen, here, we have plenty of cows. It's the humans we have to deal with. They're the ones, ask for more cows. I've done that. I've been there. I've had my fill. No, not that kind of fill. That's a bad analogy. So for 7 years, I lived as a renounced monk in Mexico, in Chile, and in India. Ask for less humans. Are you tripping? No, man, we want humans for sure, but we want ecstatic humans. We want humans to relish real love of Krishna. Not just the rules and regulations, which really, really fix you up. But there's more. I became cold. I became less human. I became a professional fault finder. I think, who says that? Is that Mina say that or Janaki say that? I became a professional fault finder. To get some recognition among my peers, to find fault in others and correct them, would the person who I was correcting go, thank you, Prabhu, for helping me. My peers would go, very good, you're helping your younger neophyte brothers to rise higher because you're finding their faults. And then you're finding faults in us and you're helping us. And then when they find faults in you, you say thank you, but you say it behind this false facade of what we call Vaishnava, a servant of God. Thank you, Prabhu. But inside you go, fuck me, I don't have this there in me. Humility is very hard for me to swallow. It's a jagged pill. So the rules, although they were a great stabilizer and a path and a direction and a focus and a goal to get up early, to chant 16 rounds, but it was all in the wrong consciousness, and it made me less human. It made me less loving. It made me hard. It made me cold. It made me very hard-hearted. And it may have actually damaged my spiritual growth, held me back. That, you know, can you imagine? I mean, that moment of the universe opening and asking how I was, in that mind consciousness, I would be going, yes, I'm doing very well, thank you, God, and I hope to see you as soon as I drop my material body and I achieve Krishna Prema. And he would have gone, oh, okay, well, you just keep chanting over there and make sure you follow all the rules and regulations, and don't forget Ekadashi, because that really is important to me. I'll be over here having a good time. So I was all very, very fundamentalist, very rules and regulations, hardcore. And Hare Krishna, Sarah, good to see you. Delving deep in this one here. So, my guru, spiritual master, was not ISKCON, although he was initiated by Srila Prabhupada. He was doing his own thing, very, kept us very safe from institutionalism, told us to stay away from all that kind of religiosity. Was trying to teach us bhakti yoga, but was trying to, first of all, train us up in Vaidhi and give us good Vaidhi upbringing. I remember the day we first did a deity bathing, and when I first saw deities, I was what the hell is that? What the hell is that? Why are there two little golden men on a table? I was like, oh no, what is this? I remember first chanting, was beautiful. My first chanting experience. Oh my God, the universe opened in front of me. And then I saw his video, and there's two little golden guys on a table. And I was like, what have I got myself into? But because I somehow trusted this man, because he'd given me the mantra and given me the process to purify myself. And now he's worshipping two little golden guys at a table. I'm like, oh, no. I'm not getting into this. I cannot get into this. What are you doing with these little two golden fellas with big eyes? Why am I looking at two? What is this all about? So there they are. Anandini, Hare Krishna. Good to see you. Oh, congratulations, Hare Krishna. Jai. So, you can come and go. I'm making this. Hare Krishna. So there he is, speaking to us on the television, on a TV show, again. Hare Krishna, and Prabhupada said this, and then an art nivriti, and behind them there's two little golden guys, like that. And this is the first time I'd ever seen deities, and what am I getting? What are those little golden men doing in the background? Is it decoration? I pray to God it's decoration, because I'm not getting involved. And then there was a bathing ceremony, and I'm like, you're not kidding me. You're undressing these little golden guys, and now you're going to bathe them in water, and what is that, yogurt and honey? Oh Jesus, no! What have I done? What have I done? Why am I here? What? Can I jump out? But I'm as lazy, you know. I'm not going to start going researching other pathways. I chanted Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. The universe asked me if I was okay. This guy, Babaji, he looks, his shaved head has that thingy on his forehead. He's chanting Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, and now he's pouring yogurt over little golden men. Who in God's green earth are these two little golden men? Gaurahari. Yeah, of course they are Gaurahari. What's Gaurahari? I thought God likes cows and plays the flute. I can get the flute and get the cow in the nature, and he's blue. Yeah, well, why not? Okay, but two little golden men. And then he's singing Panchadhara. There's five of them. There's five of them. Oh, no. Why are there five of them? Anyway. So we stick to the path. Basically because, I mean, I've just told my wife I was a monk, and she'd left me, or, you know, obviously, I mean, you wouldn't stay around with somebody who doesn't want to be with you and is going to start changing his whole lifestyle. She was like, oh, fair enough, good luck, I'm not marrying a monk, which I became. So now we're worshipping golden little statues, and I was like, yeah, okay, I have no idea what I'm doing. I have no idea. I just experienced this from chanting, from just saying the same name of God over and over again and counting it, Hare Krishna or Om Bhagavate. And the day I did chant the Maha Mantra, I had been chanting Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, following a vegetarian lifestyle, no more alcohol, no more intoxication, and I said to my Guru Babaji, can I chant the Maha Mantra now? And he goes, have you been following the principles? And I said, yeah. And he says, all 4 regular, I said, yeah. And you've been chanting the Dwadashakshara mantra, that was what it was called, Dwadashakshara mantra, for how long now? And I said, oh, five months now, Babaji. And he goes, yes, you can chant the Maha Mantra. Great. So the next day, sat down before sunrise and chanted the Dwadashakshara mantra, 16 rounds of Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. And when I finished that, I said, do you know what? I'm going to chant 1 round of the Maha Mantra. And I was excited, because I knew what the Maha Mantra was at this stage. I knew it was approaching God in a much more personal and conjugal mood of Hare Krishna, 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 Hare Hare. So I did that. And I chanted, how many I chanted 1 round of the beads. And I think when I started, when I said either when I said the first Hare or when I said the last Hare. Now you'll believe this because you're devotees. I don't know if Sarah's a devotee, but I'm sure Sarah has delved slightly into the esoteric world, or otherwise she wouldn't be my friend. And when I finished or started, the sun split right down and entered into the sunroom that I was sitting in, illuminated the whole room, just bang, the eye of God, just, yes, this is it. And I was just like, well, you can't, I mean, it was just like a Hollywood movie. It was just like, oh, are you for real? Is this really going on? Are you going to do that right now, right here with me chanting Hare Krishna? Okay. So it's like, you know, I mean, Spielberg would be going, yeah, we all know that one. So it just blew into the room, illuminated the whole place. It was like angel heavenly choir. You know, I didn't hear it, but, you know, beautiful scene. It warmed me up, gave me a glow of warmth in my body. And it was just like God's confirmation going, yes, 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 you're making me happy. And I was like, oh, wow. Wow, Krishna. He was so there, is so there, right here. Even when I'm saying this, he's such a blessing to be able to go back there even and remember. Just so much confirmation, so much boxes being ticked, so much to know that you're living the right way, to know you're doing the right thing. It's just so you. Wow, Krishna. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna. Oh, Krishna, what was I saying? Deity worship, yeah, I had no idea what I would get myself into. It was like, you know, you really want me to do this, Krishna? Well, we'd already been we'd always been offering our food to a picture of Krishna. And our Guru had been telling us there's no difference between Krishna and his name, so therefore there's no difference between Krishna and his picture. Therefore there's no difference between Krishna and the deity. So there was deity worship. But I was very nervous doing deity worship. It was very, like, wow. You know, bathing the deity. I remember when I first bathed the deity, my hand was shaking. Pouring the yogurt from the conch shell onto the body of Gaurahari. I was so, like, my Guru saw my hand shaking. I was like so nervous. I was so scared because I did something wrong. I was so worried that I caused an offense. Like, this is a big thing, you know. I'm bathing the Lord's body. They're beautiful deities. I can see them now. Beautiful big eyes. Gaurahari. Bell metal. Shiny. Gold color. We weren't really big into deity worship then. You know, we had them on the altar. We'd bathe them like 3 times a year maybe. Change their clothes, maybe, I'd say. I don't know. My Guru wasn't big into deity worship, although he was a pujari back in some temple in America, but we weren't really big into deity worship. The deities were there, you pay your obeisances, you offer food to them, but as in that kind of deal, we didn't get too big into it until we moved to India. You know, and that's when I felt there was a distance came. When we moved to India, then there was pots for Krishna. There was plates for Krishna. Okay, plates for Krishna and cooking pots. Okay, but then we'd serve it into a separate container and serve, and there has to be a differentiation between our using material and Krishna's using material, and we wash our stuff in a different place and Krishna uses his stuff in another place. And I was going, whoa, 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 whoa. And I said to my girl, what's all this? I said, why are we using all these different things? One's set for Krishna, one's set for us. I said, we're friends of Krishna. We're Krishna's friends. Why should there be so much separation? And he goes, this is for going to India. He says, we go to India, and if we don't show this standard, they won't take us seriously. In India, it's all very scrutinizing. And if you don't do it this way, they won't take us seriously. And we want them to take us serious. And I was like, oh, this is such a drag, man. This is so... And he said, I know. It is what it is. And if we don't do it, then, you know, they won't invite us to kirtans and stuff, and we want to go into kirtans. I was like, oh, right. And it just felt like another distancing between me and God. It's like, all right, well, you're my Guru, and we're going to India, so I guess, I mean, this is the protocol. And I really got into it. I had 2 other experiences while chanting japa. Then it became mechanical. You know, my first time chanting the Unmo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, I had, you know, that experience. The first time chanting the Maha Mantra, wow, sunshine, God's here saying this. But then it became mechanical. Then it came about, can you chant 16 rounds? Can you chant 16 rounds in 2.5 hours? Can you chant 16 rounds without moving? And it became so masculine, militant, false ego, pride came in. A lot of like, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Krishna. And seeing my family around me who weren't chanting, and then moving into the ashram with other devotees and chanting very straight back and not moving. And, you know, only twice in, I'd say, 6 years did I feel any, I wouldn't say ecstasy even, Brahman effulgence. Whole body filling with golden light, feeling very one with the universe, feeling very connected with all, disappearance of the self, merging into the absolute Brahman. So I experienced that twice. And every time I went into that space, every time, twice it happened, I was interrupted by a godbrother saying, Prabhu, can you help us do ABC? and it was like, it would snap me out. It happened twice, and it was like, okay, yeah, and I know it's there. So we moved to India. Lots of deity worship. We get the Panchatattva, 5 to worship. Guru, Parampara, Panchatattva, Nishinga. Nice altar, curtains, all the paraphernalia, all the flames, all the fire, all the incense, all the flowers, everything you need. Pujaris, morning program, kirtan. Did it, got into it, loved it. Loved it. Then India, 2 years, and deviation. Our guru never wanted us really to get so bogged down into Vaidhi. But when you're living in India, the whole place is Vaidhi. There's Vaidhi's rules and regulations, very strict, very dogmatic. You know, I felt more connection with Krishna outside the temple. Walking the countryside, seeing nature, seeing animals, and singularities, coincidences, knowing that God was always there and watching and things happening, thinking, and you know, that kind of, wow, well that's totally Krishna right there. Never really through chanting did I ever feel any kind of taste. Through kirtan, yes, definitely through kirtan. Felt some beautiful, very blissful experiences through kirtan, but not as much as one would expect, you know. But it takes that those experiences are so, you know, so out of this world that you just go, okay, well, I'm not feeling anything. That's my problem. I'm obviously doing something wrong, but hey, this is what it is. Let's just keep doing it because there's nothing else to do. Because everything else is a freaking lie and going to set you up for a big fall. So another deviation. Our guru was practicing tantra. And bona fide or not, I am not qualified to say, but came to a point that I could no longer be in his association because it was not sitting right with my level of realization. So we leave the ashram and we find ourselves back in Ireland, living in my uncle's house. Because my brother didn't want me to stay at home because I was basically a jackass who destroyed broke my mother and father's heart. And I'm living in my uncle's house, he's a bodybuilder, taking loads of steroids, psycho. You know, lovely guy for letting me stay in his place, but really didn't want me to chant, didn't want me to read. Whenever he did, he'd flash, just go crazy. Until I couldn't stay there anymore. Became pretty vicious. So I moved back home to my parents' house saying, listen, I can't stay there. So I'm staying in my parents' house in Ireland, trying to assimilate into their lifestyle. You know, I'm not chanting anymore, but I'm not forgetting Krishna. I'm not eating meat. I'm not offering my food, but I am in my heart, but I'm not forgetting Krishna. I'm not chanting 60 rounds. I'm chanting in my heart. I'm singing, humming to myself. And I start trying to find association again. And I see that my first guru is starting to preach again, but on a different kind of platform. A little bit more, I don't know, it was interesting. He was kind of using it as a business plan approach, not so much religious anymore. So I started dropping him an email or two. He was glad that I was getting in this association again. Basically the ashram had imploded and everyone had gone back to where they'd come from. And I was interested in getting back into association, any kind of association. You know, I just really needed, and my father found out that I was in communication with him, and he goes, can you not just try ISKCON? Can you not just try the devotees in Ireland for me? And he started to cry. He was just like, please, don't go back to that man and what he's done to you. Well, it was easy for me to accept it because I lived it, because I experienced it. It wasn't anything too horrific. But for him, it was pretty horrific. And he didn't want me to go back to him. And he said, can you please go to the devotees in Ireland? Good girl, Sarah, you're still hanging out with us. Hare Krishna. Oh my God, what are you still doing here? Thank you for your company. And so I go to the devotees in Ireland. They got a temple in Abbey Street above a restaurant. And there they were. There's the deities, there's the devotees, they're chanting Hare Krishna, they're dancing, they're singing. I said, hey, I remember this. This seems okay. I can deal with this, even though it is the big institute, but it's not really. It's just one of 3 or 4 brahmacharis living in a small. Okay, so I joined them. I went and lived on the island in Cavan, where we went around Ireland and gave out books and chanted Hare Krishna and propagated the holy name and gave out the philosophy, and I was loving it. The guys are Polish. I couldn't really speak 100% good English, so there was always a bit of a problem. I moved to the Dublin Temple, a few Irish devotees. They were mad, to be honest with you. Had lots of issues. I mean, we all do, but you could tell that these are rejects from the material world, which we all were. Rejects from material society and found shelter in Krishna consciousness. And that's the way it should be. You know, we rejected the material world rejected us, and we came to spiritual life and we found shelter. The most perfect way of living. And one guy there, we were cutting up vegetables for the Sunday feast, and he said, listen, I'm institutionalized. I can't leave this place. He says, but you can. I said, what do you mean leave this place? He goes, this religion. I said, I can't leave. He said, you don't fit here. And he said, you're a great devotee. You're very sincere. But don't get institutionalized. I told him all about my first guru and where I came from and who I was and all that. And that stuck with me. I said. So then I moved to Radhadesh. It's a temple out in the middle of the Ardennes, an even bigger institutionalized institution. Lots of rules and regulations. You know, I was used to it, but it was safety. I basically went there because I fell in love with a girl who was pregnant. Not my child. But she needed shelter. And I went there to give her shelter. And I told the temple president I would marry her if she could stay in the temple, because they didn't want her to stay in the temple. No unmarried mothers should stay in the temple. It happened before in the past and it caused a lot of problems. And I said to the temple president, I'll marry her if she can, and then she can stay. And the temple president said, yeah. I was thinking of her, thinking of the child. And I told her, and she says, you're an idiot, I don't want to marry you. And then the next day she was gone. She was kind of a hippie girl. So I find myself in charge of the cows in Radhadesh and in charge of the garden because no one else was doing it. And it felt right, you know. It was Prabhupada, what Prabhupada wanted. Chanting Hare Krishna, simple living, high thinking, protect the cows, grow your own food, live off the grid, don't survive on the system. And that's one of the things which I loved about Krishna consciousness and the idea of that system is foobarred, and nature, God has given us a system that works. It's simple, it works. More time to contemplate your consciousness. Chant Hare Krishna, grow food, milk a few cows, make sure it looks after you. Unfortunately, one man can't do it alone, and there weren't enough people who were interested in doing that. You know, these big temples have so much land and so much facility, and they've tried and they've tried, and it's fallen on its face, and it's fallen on its face time and time again. And it's so disheartening. I would stand in the garden of Radhadesh and just cry from exhaustion, just seeing people more interested in the tourist program and temple program and the money making program than actually what I felt was the real program, which was following Prabhupada's order, you know. Yeah, we need money to pay for the temple, but too much emphasis was gone into making money rather than following Prabhupada's instructions. So I did, and it really broke my heart. And then I got married again to a devotee lady. I had no interest in getting married. I wasn't thinking about it. But she came to me and asked, and I, was saying, I can't give you anything. I can't offer you anything. I'm not qualified anymore. All my qualification skills are gone out the window, and I ain't gonna work in computer games. I ain't gonna do this and that. I don't speak French. I'm in Belgium. What am I gonna do? And she goes, well, we'll see what happens. Maybe you can get a job working in Radhadesh in the temple. And I said, yeah, but I mean, I'm not really. And then I was humming and hawing, and I was speaking to her about Krishna and how my relationship with Krishna is and how he sends me signs. And then she asked the question, do you want to marry me? And that moment, Krishna gave me a sign. I won't go into it, it takes too long. And I just went, oh yeah, well, there's a sign right there. I mean, we both saw the sign, we both went, whoa, okay, well, that's a sign that we should get married and in a year's time have children. And I was ready for it. I was ready to surrender, become a householder, have children, and look after them, get a good job. And I was like, this gives me a direction in life. You know, I have a wife, have a child. I can be strong for them in my Krishna consciousness, for the garden, for the cows. Do all this. Do it. So then we get married. We have a child. We move to England, where I get a job as a cowherd boy in this big farm. Lots of responsibilities, lots of work, because I'm the only one there again, aren't I? Because the head farmer leaves as soon as I join, so I'm up to here with work, and unfortunately I don't have enough time for my wife and child, but I'm building a nest, but my wife says, it's not fast enough, buddy. And so I find myself alone through stress and tension and lack of association and many other things which you won't get into now. I find myself in the middle of a farm in England with 32 cows, with no wife, no child, living in the back of a truck, wondering what just happened. And then, when all was lost, when I thought all is lost, when I thought, what am I doing? I mean, the cows are still here, the cows are keeping me going. I have these cows to protect, look after, maintain, milk. I have the pasteurizing machine to clean, to fix, to work on, to process milk. I was going. But a piece of me died when my wife left and took my ex-wife left and took my little fella. You know, I was attached to that idea of little house in the prairie. I was attached to the idea with the family. Now, my family was gone, but I was still looking after Krishna's cows. But, you know, there's a lot of work, and I wasn't getting much time to, you know, relish chanting or focus on Shastra or... And then I came across Srila Gaurahari Das Maharaj Acharya. This man is chanting Hare Krishna just like me. Only one little difference. Ooh, yeah. The difference is he's chanting in ecstasy. When he chants and the universe stops and asks him, "Are you okay?" Srila Gaurahari Das has an answer for him. Srila Gaurahari Das has relationship with them. When Srila Gaurahari Das chants the Maha Mantra and goes to that spiritual world, he's in ecstasy with the Maha Mantra, Hare Krishna. And in my 10 years of following this process, I have never seen anybody experience what he is experiencing. Every day, every time he chants. Not just chanting, simply just reading the pastimes, simply just by reading the past, just by reading, just by thinking, he relishes. And when I saw his video on Facebook, it was like a life raft had just been pushed towards me. And I climbed up in that life raft. And I felt home. I felt I had a captain again. I felt like I was paddling and paddling and paddling and paddling. And I was keeping afloat, and I was keeping strong, and I was keeping focused. And Krishna was making sure I had cows, I had Prabhupada, I had Maha Mantra. But it was just sustaining. I was just doggy paddling. And if you know anything about swimming, doggy paddling, you don't really move anywhere. There's no forward movement, there's no back movement. But when I came across Srila Gaurahari Das, there was movement again. There was definite movement. He was power steaming. He was, wow, jet stream. Whew. That's what we should be doing. That's how we should be chanting. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna. That's how we should be chanting. That's what the human body should be going through when tapping into God's energy. Overwhelming tears, choking of the voice, laughing out loud uncontrollably, horripilations of the skin, hair standing on end, rolling on the ground, laughing, dancing like a madman. These are the symptoms of someone who is relishing the holy name of God. This man on Facebook Live, this is how we should be feeling. This is what should be going on. But how come I'm not? How come I wasn't? Because those around me weren't doing it. We were all doggy paddling, thinking that, Krishna has millions of doggy paddlers. Very few get the butterfly stroke down. Very few get the front crawl. Very few start making movements towards Krishna. Very few of us actually start, getting the stroke down. Here we come, Krishna. Srila Gaurahari is teaching by example, showing us in the scripture where this stroke is mentioned and and how it's bona fide. Now, he doesn't have to teach us any verses or anything. He can just show us in the path what he's doing is bona fide. Like, look, it says here on page chapter verse that what I'm doing is bona fide, is approved by God himself, and anybody who nay-nays this, who poo-poos this, are not understanding what they're reading in the Shastras given to us by God. Doesn't have to teach us how to chant the Maha Mantra. That's been done. We've chanted, we've followed, we've tasted. A molecule. Srila Gaurahari Das is drinking deep and is sharing this out, Facebook Living it, broadcasting it, propagandaing himself, putting his face all over Facebook, taking photographs of himself, relishing what he looks like, relishing the ecstasy that he goes through. He is enamored by what's happening through him. He's in love with what's going on with him. He takes photographs, he watches. How could you not? This is God acting through him. There is a devotee in Lord Chaitanya's pastimes. Pardon my ignorance. Vijayanidhi? Pundarik Vijayanidhi? Yeah. He's sitting on his bed, he's got a mirror here and a mirror there, and he's looking at himself from side to side, but he's not looking at himself, his face or his body. He's looking at God looking through him. Because as soon as they chant some ecstatic mantras or pastimes, he is in rapture. He just loses control and he just forgets the exterior and goes interior and is just enthralled in love and relishes of God, Radha, Krishna, Hare Krishna. He's in love with that, and he sees this is a tool. This is the tool that Krishna uses to express this, and he sees what God is doing through him. He's mesmerized by it. Look what gift I have. Just say Krishna, a tear appears in my eye. And Gaurahari does that too. He takes photographs of himself, freeze frames parts of his chanting, freeze frames parts of his experience, and just looks at what's Krishna doing through him. He's like, well, look, some videos of him laughing. He's kind of going, the guy is insane. He's totally insane. He is insane. Sanity. He is in sanity. He is sane. Everybody else is out sane. They are out of sanity. There is no sanity in the people of this world who are not relishing God. So, I'm watching his videos. We're communicating through Messenger, through Facebook. He knows my name. We speak together. He calls me on Messenger. We speak on the phone. I see him in real life. He was in India, Dharamshala. I'm walking around glued to my phone, listening to this man relishing Hare Krishna, Mahamantra, Leela. Govin comes to the farm. I introduce him to Srila Gaurahari Das. Govin, hook, line and sinker. Just, that guy just eats, sleeps and drinks Srila Gaurahari Das. Introduces it to Dasharat, and within a few, almost feels like weeks, those two bombtail it to Mayapur, where they meet Srila Gaurahari Das and they pop, where they just bowled over by Srila Gaurahari Das's energy, Shakti, potency. They're just, this is it. We have struck the mother lode. The vein is here, the line is here, the path is here, the acharya is here. This is where we meant to be. And I'm back in the farm watching these guys going, why am I still here? Living in the farm through winter, and every time you walk outside, the cows look at you going, more food, oh! You go, I can't feed you. I can only feed you in the morning and the evening because I feed you too much, run out of food, and then there's a money problem, and then there's a money problem, and there they are in Mayapur with Srila Gaurahari Das. I'm like, oh, I can't leave. I can't leave. I can leave. I should leave. I don't leave. Mother Goodness has me. I can't go anywhere. I have to look after these cows. In the summertime, when it gets better, then maybe I can go for 2 weeks. And if those 2 weeks are what I think they might be, I ain't going to come back. I had that. I said to the boss, 2 weeks, I'm going to India. And if in those 2 weeks I experience what I think I'm going to experience, you got to find yourself another cowherd, boy, because I ain't going to do this anymore. I cannot sacrifice my spiritual life for 32 cows who in their next life will be born as human beings in the mode of goodness. I can't sacrifice that. I cannot sacrifice that. I have to be selfish right now. I have to do this. This is the summum bonum of existence on this planet Earth. This is why we're here. To associate with devotees who are relishing Hare Krishna Nam, who are in prema, who are living as we are meant to be living, in accordance to God's plan, perfecting our lives. And if I don't make this break from Varnashram Dharma, from these 72 acres of rolling beautiful fields, say goodbye to the 10 milking girls and the 17 or 18 oxen, I'm tired, and I say, ladies, it has been an experience and I thank you from the bottom of my heart, but I must humbly beg my leave from you. You have carried me through these 2-3 years, and for that I am gracious, but ladies, my path must leave. And they went. You're all right. Srila Gaurahari comes to England. I pick him up in the van. And I try to tell him about the traffic on the way here. And he's just come from India. And he's sitting in the van with me. And he's looking at me through these eyes, which really aren't looking at me. And he's going, really? Awesome, man. Yeah. And he's putting his hand up, taking his pee bag. Yeah? Awesome. Really? I'm going, and then traffic did this, and the traffic did this, and how are you, Srila Gaurahari? And then the... Let's just get to Nottingham safely and soundly, and Hare Krishna. Huh. How can I even begin to... So, anyway. I had been a vegan for 2 years because I was living on an ahimsa farm, and I believed that by drinking milk or eating cheese I was somehow or other involved in the blood industry of slaughter industry of the dairy, and I thought that that was going to save me. By not drinking milk, I was somehow or other going to please Krishna so much that he would rescue my sorry ass. And as we're driving up the motorway, myself and Srila Gaurahari Gurudev, stopped in a service station, and he went straight to the cheese. And good. And he went over and he got a cheese and cheese sandwich. And I was like, I kind of don't eat cheese. You know, he goes, it's not going to save you. He went on his way, and I was standing there, and he went off to buy things. I was going, it's not going to save me. Not eating cheese isn't going to. It's not going to. But what is going to save me? And what is going to save me is listening to and serving that ecstatic devotee. So I picked up a block of cheese, and I got a cup of coffee with milk. I walked right by the almond milk and got milk. And my 2 years of veganism went out the window because it wasn't going to save me. No pious mode of goodness activity was not going to save me. But listening to and serving this man before me, who was relishing his life is serving Prabhupada's instruction and relishing and preaching the glories and the beauty of Radha Krishna. And that is the perfection of life, to serve those devotees and to serve their devotees. And I drove him, Guru Maharaj, to Nottingham, where I am here now, just outside that door. And Yamuna and Govind were there, and they threw their arms around Maharaj. They held each other for such a long time. And it was getting late now. I had to go back to the farm, milk the cows at 6 o'clock without fail. But Maharaj was giving class at 5. So I said, okay, I'll stay for an hour, and then I'll make my way back. I can milk the cows half an hour late. It's not going to affect them too much. Well, 6 o'clock came and went, and he was still giving class. And I didn't care. I relished every word he spoke about. The class was about how Krishna asked Uddhava how his well-wishers were, how his friends were, and how his family were. The different areas of intimacy. And I felt if I leave, I'm just a well-wisher. If I don't stay, I might be a friend. But if I stay, I'm family. I'm family. I have to stay. And through the class, I could hear the cows. I could see the cows going, no, leave me. Just, please. Let me have this. Girls, just let me have this. Let me listen to my guru. Let me relish what he has to say. Let me feel the connection to the parampara again through a living devotee. Please, girls, allow me this. And they did. And I listened to Srila Gaurahari Das when I watched him and realised there was no camera between us. And he spoke. And it was real. And he was my guru. And he was in ecstasy. As he has been in ecstasy for the past 22 years. More. Relishing the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Not just the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, relishing God. Relishing God through the Mahamantra, through praising Jesus, through praising the saints. Not just the Hare Krishna. Not just Krishna, but Jesus. God. Dios. Yahweh. God. Our Father. God our friend. God our protector. God our Savior. God our intimate lover. All of that and more. Suffice it to say, I stayed on. And the rest is history. The rest is now living in the moment, knowing that I am in the right place, in the right time, on the right path, with the right guide, with the right captain, with the bona fide spirit, the bona fide representative of the parampara, the bona fide spiritual master of the sampradaya coming from Lord Brahma, an ecstatic branch coming from Lord Brahma, the Gaudiya Sampradaya, from Lord Sri Krishna Chaitanya, down through the parampara, Prabhupada, Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta, Srila Prabhupada, Saraswati Thakur, Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, to Srila Gaurahari Das, bona fide Raganuga spiritual master, showing by example, teaching by example, pointing out in the Shastra where it says how to recognize a spiritual master. Songs that we've sung every morning. The spiritual master exhibits these signs of ecstasy while in connection with God. a spiritual master exhibits these signs of tears from the eyes, faltering of the voice, these songs that we all have sang for years. And now we actually find a spiritual master who is exhibiting these symptoms. This is the Ark of the Covenant. This is the elixir of life. This is the Holy Grail. To find a soul in contact with God in such intimacy and is freely giving this out for others to relish and to get, even against a sea of naysayers and fault finders who threaten him and his disciples, who slur his name and find fault in his past, which we all know was there, and we all are grateful that it's there, because he would not be who he is now if it was not for his past. A fully formed, balanced soul with eyes wide open, who can teach us and show us, because he has walked and lives the path of pure devotion, ecstatic Raganuga Bhakti. Srila Gaurahari Das, Gurudev, friend of the fallen. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Thank you so much for listening to this. Thank you so much for trying to understand, and thank you so much for being with me on this journey. Thank you so much for allowing me to be me and giving me the strength to continue. Thank you so much. I don't know, and I'm not meant to know, and I don't need to know. But all I know is that the sun is shining and Krishna is very happy that I'm here. He's really thumbs up. This path will take us all the way. Namo Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Srila Gaurahari Das Iti Namine Namaste Prabhupada Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Nara Jagataya Tarine Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shrivasadi Gora Bhaktavrinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna